Hey guys, this is kind of a new thing I'll be starting here. It's gonna be my top 5 lists, and I hope you enjoy. So I'm gonna be starting with the top 5 most ridiculous deaths in comic book history. So let's get started here. Number 5, Wonder Man. Enough has been said. If you don't know who Wonder Man is, his real alter ego is Simon, and he was given his powers through radiation given to him by Baron Zemo. And his powers basically include superhuman strength, stamina, reflexes, etc. So, this being the recursive realm of superhero comics, Wonder Man's death was only the beginning of his long, strange trip in a plot hole-filled story. After getting a partial Silver Age resurrection, it was revealed that his brain patterns were used to instill sentience in the Vision synthesiodial skull. He was later given a full Lazarian during the mid-1970s when a voodoo priest reanimated Simon's corpse and sent it to Womp the Avengers. Yeah, you confused yet? A lot of people were. To sum it up, Simon was only technically dead. What the Avengers assumed to be a fatal ionic poisoning turned out to be a state of metamorphic dormancy preceding rebirth as an indestructible energy being with glowing red eyes. Genius writing. It can't get better than that. Number 4 has to be Barry Allen. Not only did we see Flash disintegrate into pure energy, and for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this is an Infinite Crisis storyline. Okay, so, yeah. Not only did we see Flash disintegrate into energy, but his energy somehow managed to travel back in time and become the exact lightning bolt that gave his self the powers. How convenient, huh? Now, all I know is, I'm done. You know, I picked up this issue a while back and I read it. It's a good story, don't get me wrong, but man, it's too much, man. I'm just going to avoid the whole thing until it's erased from the boards and DC doesn't mention it for the next 23 years. Number 3, Jean Grey the Phoenix. Alright, so for this, try to keep up here. I kind of wrote this in a list because it's way too long to explain. So, Cyclops meets Jean. Cyclops and Jean go into space with their super friends. Something goes wrong. Jean saves the day. Goes down with the ship. Jean gets revived by the psychic embodiment of all life. Becomes super powerful. Jean goes crazy. Destroys the solar system. Kills herself. Cyclops meets an exact copy of Jean. Jean ends up being an evil clone of a girl. Cyclops marries her, has a child. All-powerful Jean was a psychic duplicate, and real Jean Grey was an underwater healing cocoon. Cocoons, okay. So, after this, Jean basically comes back to life, meets the evil clone. Jean merges with the evil clone. Cyclops marries the girl again. And Jean becomes all powerful again. And then she dies. So, number 2. Spider-Man rebirths himself. So, the main plot of this story arc titled changes. Spider-Man has to fight the Queen, an absurdly powerful villainess who no one has ever heard of before. Her powers are insect related, so of course she picks Spider-Man to make spider babies with. You heard that right? Spider babies. Yeah. The Queen defeats Spidey in the fist fight and then proceeds to mouse rape him. In case you've ever wondered what that would look like, here's a picture. Spidey eventually escapes and notices the kiss had some odd effects. Go figure. The Queen then tracks Spider-Man and takes him to her lair. Oh boy, this sounds like my regular Friday night right here, man. Telling you. Now, after she takes him to her lair, she reveals that he is pregnant. So it is then mentioned the Queen never mated with him as promised. What a tease. Spider-Man somehow had been genetically altered to become pregnant. Well, okay then. So, what does old Spidey do with this revelation? Nothing. Because he's a fucking spider who can't understand what people are saying. Instead, he has a seizure, his body topples over, and dies. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, after she mated with him, Peter Parker essentially is pregnant with himself, but during this he becomes a actual spider. But finally, the masterpiece you have all been waiting for. Peter breaks out of the dead shell of his own spider body, trying to figure out how all this makes any sense. It doesn't, so don't bother. Peter, somehow still having all of his memories, knows his exact location when he pops out, which means Spider-Man was pregnant with Peter Parker, or Peter Parker was pregnant with Peter Parker. A fully grown human adult. That's right, he wasn't born a baby, just a regular adult, same age, everything. And then died giving birth to himself. Alright, so number 1. It's just as scary as it is ridiculous. So here we go. Optimus Prime's ridiculous resurrection is only excused by his incredibly pointless death. He commits suicide over a video game. Let that sink in a minute. If you've seen the Transformers movies or read the comics or watched the shows, you know Optimus Prime is a big fan of sacrificing himself. I mean, what else is a talking truck supposed to do for fun? So this whole story starts off when the Autobots and Decepticons are about to have an all-out war about some robot issues. When the main kid shows up with a genius alternative, I put that in quotation marks, he suggests they all go in a video game as characters so they can fight there. And whoever wins in this game gets whatever they're fighting for. Megatron agrees on one condition, that both he and Optimus stuff their bodies with explosives, and whoever loses the game gets blown up in real life. Not going to lie, Megatron is one edgy motherfucker. Since Optimus hadn't sacrificed himself for at least 10 issues, he was going through withdrawal syndrome and without hesitation agreed. Once they're inside the game, Optimus reminds the Autobots not to hurt any of the game characters, despite them not being real and not having personalities, cause that's not how Autobots roll. Ah, get it? Oh boy, the pun is real here. Although you quickly figure out they have no qualms about shooting Decepticons in the dick, though. Megatron uses a cheat code to kill off most of the Autobots. Expected better from Megatron, but hey, whatever. And after using a cheat code, he's about to win, but at the last minute, Optimus Prime knocks over a tower onto Megatron, pushing him off a cliff. This means the Autobots automatically win and Megatron should be blown to pieces, right? Wrong. To everyone's astonishment, Optimus declares he didn't win at all because he accidentally killed some game character in the process of killing Megatron, which goes against his principles. Damn it, Optimus. So, it appears we have a tie. Or it would be if Optimus didn't suffer from some weird death fetish. Optimus is essentially committing suicide over spilt milk, endangering the universe. The Decepticons ended up getting what they were fighting for. So, not only did Optimus kill himself over nothing, he also managed to mentally scar every child in the 80s with this wonderful image. Tears were shed that day. After letting the Decepticons leave and Autobots mourn their friend for a little while, Ethan, that kid who suggested the game idea, reveals he had conveniently saved Optimus's mind onto a floppy disk before he destroyed him. You read that right, guys and girls. His entire consciousness is held inside one floppy disk. Not even an Omega powerful alien floppy disk. Nope. Just a regular old 1986 floppy disk. the ones that could hold around 1 megabyte of information. I am not kidding. If you cut and paste this whole video and basically put it into this floppy disk, it'd have more information than Optimus Prime's entire existence, from what I'm telling you right here. The only problem is the little demon took so long to mention he had this floppy disk. By the time he did, the Autobots had already shot Optimus's dead body into space. They traveled to 3 different planets looking for someone capable of rebuilding Optimus, and finally find him on the planet Nebulog. So they rebuild Optimus from scratch. Way to go, Ethan. Wasting everyone's time. Download his memory into the new body, and then Optimus dies again instantly. The crew is forced to make even more changes to his new body to survive, just in time for a new Christmas toy line release. Haha, I see you, Hasbro. Ain't fooling me. So, basically all for nothing, because, as you could probably guess, he dies sacrificing himself 30 issues later. Good old Optimus Prime. So that was my top 5 list of most ridiculous deaths in comic book history. If you have a different list than me, go ahead and sound off below and let me know what you thought of my list, and thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.
Watch out, Spike! I'm driving for a layoff!
It's called a layup, Prime, and watch out for tracks!
Coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown. And not the other color, so police think they have the authority to kill a minority. Fuck that shit cause I ain't the